I stay in an African circle to become a healing priest. And in the African circle, like Louisiana in Africa, there's dancing, celebration, and nothing but joy to talk about. So when you're going through something, when you're dealing with mourning and depression and all these other things, just understand it affects you emotionally, but it also affects you physically. So these things that we have to let go will make you understand how to be a better person to serve. The greatest thing that I have in my body is that I love serving people. I've washed people's feet. I made a guy bug out, a homeless guy. He was I lost his mind. You do it. I want to be able to serve. And the more that you can become a servant leader and understand that this is what we're supposed to do as human beings, to serve each other, the better you'll be as a person to serve everybody in your community. All right? So, let's go back to the out-of-the-box thinking. So we got our first reporter, guys. I love it. So I want y'all to write some of this stuff down because I got jealous just now. I'm looking over there. They got tables over there. So now I'm over this. Like, why do we have tables? But it's all good. All right, let's report out. And then what I want you to do, once they report out, we got enough time, we're going to go over it and let's take some of the ideas and see what's good. We're going to say, hey, I like that. I don't like that. That was good. That doesn't work. And then let's point out the stuff that's not good or that I don't know. But then explain each reason why you have it. All right, here we go.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Say it again.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. What our group came up with is we want to create a program where our families can become professional ambassadors for the program.
Come on.
So we would set up a way for them to come in where they could get a new set of clothes if they like, have cosmetology come in and do hair, haircuts, that type of thing. And then we would work with them for them to become professional ambassadors to go out and help us recruit other families. Because we all go to recruitment events, and to take a parent with us who can tell their story. We come from an agency perspective, but we can bring our families in that can come from that heart perspective. And they become advocates for our program, and then they can put that on a resume when they get ready to go out to say that they're a parent ambassador. It gives them confidence to be able to stand up and speak in front of crowds. They'll be able to help us recruit in the community. So that's the program. We were trying to decide on a name. We couldn't decide whether we wanted to use Threads and Dreads or Dress to Impress.
Give me the reason behind it. Oh wait, hold on. Give me the reason behind the name.
Well, we were thinking that a lot of our families, due to the population that we deal with, don't feel comfortable or feel like they're worthy.
What's that population?
Impoverished families.
Gotcha.
So people that are in poverty. Because of course all of our families have to meet an income
Right.
qualification. So a lot of times they're just trying to survive. And they're trying to make sure that their kids have the things that they need. So they don't necessarily have that outfit that they would feel comfortable going into the community to talk to somebody. But we could get donations. We could have people donate clothing. We could have cosmetology schools donate their time to come in and do hair and makeup and haircuts. And all of those are confidence boosters. When you are confident in who you are, then you can present well in the community. And
All right.
you feel worthy.
Do we like it?
Yeah.
Let's get some feedback real quick. Let me get 3 people feedback. 3 people feedback. In the back, go ahead. You gotta speak up. I don't have a mic. All right, never mind. We gotta get you. I want everybody to hear what you gotta say. That's why it's important. You know, what you say is important.
Hi, sorry if my voice is really quiet. But I appreciate what you're saying because I don't work for EHS. I am kind of like parent counsel with the company that I'm in, and like honestly, it was so hard in the beginning. I would not be anywhere without them. Like I got a good job from like just the resources, and like they put me in like such a great position of just like making sure my son's okay. And like even counseling, like I was like, do you guys have counseling? Like, yes, please. So yes, that is such a great idea. Thank you.
Anybody else want feedback? Go ahead.
We were also talking about having the families come out and help recruit, because they know the community. They're the ones that know the folks in the community, and most of the people that work within our agency don't live in the community. So who better to have advocate for your agency and Head Start as a whole than the parents from the community?
Let me talk to that real quick. So, let parents know that they're gonna be used. All right? Because as much as we go out and recruit, remember we ain't get paid for that. And if you can, pay them. Pay them for their lived experience while they have it. But let them know the reason why you need them to do this.
Right.
Give them the mission. Don't just say, go out and get it. Go out and help us. Because at the end of the day, they're not getting a paycheck. Right? But your numbers is going up. So keep that in mind when we're doing this. All right? Yeah. Who was over here? There was somebody? You?
Oh, that was me, but you said what I already said. Hi.
No, go ahead. Just say
The only thing I would have added is that compensate parents.
There you go.
You're compensated, and they are worthy of being compensated. So unless you can compensate them, then I say don't do it. But that's just me.
There you go. No, that's good. There you go. Is somebody else? Anybody? There you go. All right, last one. Then who's reporting out next?
I think it's a great idea with hairdresser. But we have a lot of parents that dress better than us in the office. Seriously, it's like their nails, their hair is. So use them as well, you know. Like, oh, you don't have to do hair? I didn't know that. And then you can even open up doors where, you know, at a cosmetology school, how can Head Start pay for her to have that certification? But she's already good at it. So you start opening up more doors. You know, there's people that are so talented that they do it behind the scenes when they can really get paid for that certification, and we're supposed to help them. How many of our families come in with a goal, and how many of them with that goal achieved? So open up those doors as well, you know?
Ooh, I like that. Good.
The other thing that I think is really important is we have to let our parents know their value.
Yes.
They have value that they bring to the table, that we as professionals that are here that's doing this work, it's different. And when they add that value of, I'm coming from this space, so I know what I'm talking about. It's not necessary, it's a life education, not a education from a school.
Yes.
And that adds something totally different to the program.
Let me tell you, I don't have a PhD in psychology, but I got a PhD in trauma. All right? I don't have a doctorate in education, but I definitely got a doctorate in violence. I've seen enough of it to understand it from inside out. All right, who else is reporting out? Which, come on now, don't be shy. We got two more that we need to report out. Y'all were having some good discussions, even though we put y'all together over here. All right, then I got y'all after in the back. All right, good.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm not feeling my best, but we were talking about Head Start walks. So
Say it again, Head Start.
Head Start walks.
Woo!
So the kids and the teachers at my Head Start, they do miniature field trips around the school. And I was thinking, what about if we expand on that a little bit more and invite the parents to come out and walk with their children, and maybe we could expand the location and walking around our community, you know, have other families. You know, I think the biggest thing will be that everyone's gonna wonder why are they walking? Where are they going? You know, and who better to tell their story or to do recruitment than the families that we're serving? You know, invite the families, invite the site supervisors, invite management to come and walk with us. We had done a challenge, a walking challenge, and we do this yearly where each center competes with their walking steps. So it's a good way for children, families, and our agencies to be healthy, to get their steps in, and we can also, do some recruiting while we're there.
How many people like it? Let's go. That's the first time. Understand too, right? Poverty has a lot to do with health issues as well. So you're solving maybe about 3 or 4 problems within that, right? Getting exercising, getting steps in, putting people outside of their element, right? Then the biggest thing is that you're creating community. One of the biggest things in Washington State is biking and jogging. And I didn't know how important that was until I had to wake up 6 o'clock in the morning one day because I promised a friend. And I don't jog, but I fast walk because I'm from New York. And as they were jogging, I was keeping up, but I realized the community that was around. I didn't know that you talked when you jogged. I have asthma, I can't do it. So, but I respected that they were having these conversations. It built a community. All right, let's get some feedback. How do we have, what feedback do we have for it? Well, we got some feedback. There you go.
One suggestion I would combine with that is maybe if everyone who was walking had the same color on or the shirt for your agency.
Oh, I like that. I like unity, right? We one family on it. Because we Head Start, let me tell you this. We one family. Don't think that, look, I showed up for a Head Start parent one time. You know what I mean? Then I turned around, there was about 12 of us. We got her out of her situation. Because he wasn't a part of Head Start. Anyway. We asked that first. Have you ever been to Head Start? Nah. Bro, this ain't gonna work out good for you. So anything else? Add to that.
Maybe just like a suggestion, not really like something to change it, because I really do like the idea of going on walks, but like maybe for like the kids, like, you make like an interactive, like, like, oh, look for flowers, look for like things, and like you can add it to like this. I've seen it like on Pinterest. You have like these holes on like cardboard, and you like make your own little bouquet thing. Like, make it interactive for the kids. That way the kids, like, because they're not really, they're just kind of following us,
Right.
It's fun for us, but for them, they're just like, why are we walking, So make it fun for the kids.
Good point. Because a lot of times it's the adults that's gonna be walking, the children gonna be like, we doing. Anybody else want to put out? So I'm gonna give 2 things to both of those before I go on. So the first one, what I'm gonna give to you guys is this. Absolutely what she said about creating entrepreneurs out of that. When I started my foundation for Homeless and Poverty Management, what I found was how intelligent and how creative homeless people were. And what we did is we started an entrepreneurs program where we taught them how to run their business. Not start it, but how to run their business. We had a homeless guy that I think he came up with, he was a cook before he became homeless, and he knew how to make sauces, and amazing. And we got him all the way to a certain point where it just became too much. And, he kind of checked out, but we're waiting. But what she said is so important, because now what you're doing is pulling out the talents of those people, but not only that, you may be putting them on a trajectory of where they're getting ready to go. And in that, what I want to talk to you all about is this, and I'm going to get to the walking thing as well. Always look outside for sponsors. Don't ever think, I get mad so much at Head Start and the programs that we don't go outside to get that other money. Right? So if you got a program in there, that's something that Ragu, that's something that anyone, Procter & Gamble, as much as they do bad stuff, get their money. Let them know, hey, we got something that's going on for there. And then you hear products. Reach out to them and say, we're doing this in our community and we want your support. For the jogging thing, reach out to Shaq. Shaq Sneaks been selling sneakers. Shaq's $1 million sneakers at Walmart, right? Sneakers don't last, but it's still good sneakers. They get really good, seriously. That's something that when you reach out as a group and you get them to come in, now that unification that she was talking about, Nike may say, hey, we'll give everybody the Nikes. We'll donate shoes to you guys to go ahead and do it. We have to make sure that we don't just come up with the solution, we figure out how to make that solution bigger, right? And that solution is bringing those people with money to the table to be, hey, you need to take care of this community as well. How do we get you involved in what we're doing? All right? Okay, so next report out, I said you, and then I got y'all in the back.
We came up with an idea to put together like new families enroll, no matter where they come from. You know, you're gonna do some sort of interview. You know, you're gonna talk to them and get to know them a little bit, and whatever they're going through, the challenges that they go through. You know, being in the positions that we're in, we're gonna hear different stories. Then we decided to come up with like a support group, where we kind of hearing all these stories, we kind of invite families with similar stories together to come together, and then but the support group is like, it's not therapy, we're not therapists, but we kind of create a structure, you know, maybe have a couple of questions lined up where we kind of leading the group and getting them to open up, and with it being, you know, smaller, like you were saying, you know, people don't want to share in large groups, but if you got in smaller groups and then everyone in the group is hearing stories that are similar to their own, they're more likely to share, and then you kind of set the scene for, you know, friendships and relationships to occur amongst each other. I work in a high school, and even with 2 weeks left of school, we're still getting refugee students, and we're taking them in. So just with that type of thinking, you know, we got 2, 3 families all came from Syria. You know, let's put a support group together with just them, you know. But then there's a lot of research that shows when people have a meal together, you know, it kind of fosters relationships. So more than just like crackers and water, but like something warm, and that they can really, you know, feel connected and share their stories, and, you know, provide resources and all the things that they need, but be more specific to that group. If we do it 3 times a week, then we can have different families, different days, different resources, but within each group it's all similar.
Oh, let's get that up. Tell you a quick story real quick, right? So all my friends think that I was an alcoholic back in the days. Because my tolerance of alcohol, my grandmother, like I said, West Indian, so when I would get sick, bourbon and honey, right? So my tolerance is there. So I go to the AA meeting, and I'm sitting in the AA meeting, and they're going around and doing their thing, and I stand up. And after listening to about 10 stories, and I get up and I said, "Hey, my name's Ray Jackson, what am I called?" And they're like, "Wow, man, you know, welcome, Ray." And I said, "Well, you know, so my mother died and all of this, and, you know," and then I, you know, said my story, right? At the end, the guy pulls me to the side, he said, "Listen," he said, "don't ever come here again." You don't understand. He said, "Do you hear the stories that people are telling you?" He said, "You're a social drinker. You don't have an issue you're holding on to. These people have an issue that they're trying to get rid of. And just in your conversation," now, let me tell you this, I felt, what are you talking about, man? I have issues. But I understood at the end, when I went home, what he was talking about. There was a similarity to alcoholics that they had together that I did not have. I couldn't relate to some of the stuff that they were saying. It's like, I'm not waking up in the morning at 6 and drinking. I'm not doing it. It's disgusting. Right? I know how to sustain from a bottle. I'm good. They don't. So what he's talking about is the similarities of the conversation, right? Because in some of the things that you're talking about, there's a relatable conversation that's happening. And that relatable conversation allows people to tear down their guards and say, "Let me slow, because you get me." Right? I hate when people say, "I understand what you're going through." Do you really? Yeah, you lost your mom and you found her on the floor? No, but I did lose my mother. Did you find her on the floor? Difference, I'm telling you. Now, people I have talked to that have found their mothers, oh my God, there is a similarity. And I didn't even understand it until I realized that there's a group for everything. I'm just like, you know. And that's what they're talking about with bringing that together. Right? Because when we was, I don't know if you, just to let you know, we were the first Head Start that had 2 males leading the policy council. And while we did that, there was a connection. We had the largest group of men that ever came through, right? But there was a connection that I didn't have as somebody that had a wife to single fathers. And then we opened up the door and started a single fathers group. And boom, took off. And then you don't realize, like, oh my God, there's a similarity in the language that's being taught to in that group. So that's an excellent idea, because even though, let me just say this, I'm being honest, I take it away. It's not out of the box thinking, but what's the biggest issue what's the biggest thing that makes that successful? What's the biggest thing that makes that successful? Real quick, does anybody know? Yeah, say it. Being together. Who else? Somebody?
Shared experience.
Being together and shared experience is the greatest thing that anybody that's surviving and going through stuff. I need somebody to understand my story. Please. Right? Say it again. Parent driven? When you leave the door open for them to just be themselves, you'll be surprised how they can solve their problems. They don't need us to be involved, they just need the space. They just need the good food, right? They just need to have it that I can let down my hair. They need the daycare so they can be in there by themselves. So don't have all of these things without the tools to go around it. Does anybody want to report out what they can add to this or not, real quick? And let me get a time check real quick, please.
10:26.
Ooh, we at the end. All right, so no report now, then you got it. I love it. I believe it's there. Make it centered on what you talked about. Because if you have a peer group for, let's just say, I laugh at my friends, I have 8 children, right? I had 6 daughters, my ex-wife. I laughed at my friends that had 2 children. You don't know what I'm doing. Stop it. You ever try to fold up that double stroller? Get on the bus? Totally different conversation. All right, last report out.
An idea that we came up with was like having a family-based conference, like what we're doing now. I know like with finances and stuff, but maybe make it like local or state or even city to start out and see what the turnout is. But I think this is like wonderful how we're all coming together as a community and saying our ideas, and maybe it could be a family-based one too.
There you go. I want you to look at this real quick. This is what I get. How many men in the room right now?